All right, YouTube. So I've been trying to figure out how to word this, how to say this, but I don't know. I've been toiling with this, and I've been toiling with the fact that I'm a Christian. I am a kingdom kid, I would say, a kingdom saint. Um, and I remember when I was younger, and even the first beginning of my ministry, we would go feed the hungry, we would feed the homeless, we were there for those that were in need. We helped them, we provided for them. That was the church that I came from. I came from the church that was there for the poor, was there for those that needed. Um, I was I came from the church that opened their doors to provide free medical assistance to people who had low income housing or low income families. I was there. I've been to these places where churches would give food to low income families and to provide for them. And churches, I'm not talking about your neighbor. I'm talking about churches. Now I don't see the church standing up against what it used to stand up against. It used to stand up against injustice, it stand up against government issues, that when the government did stuff that it shouldn't do, it stood up against it. When it did things inhumane, it stood up against it. The church didn't involve itself into policy, but it stood up against what was wrong. It stood up against what the government should not be doing to human beings. It stood up against whatever whatever laws they made, whatever government made that made it difficult for people and made it harder for people to live their lives. The church stood up against it. They always became the gap stander and the intercessor for the innocent. Now the church is quiet. We fighting each other while people are dying. We fighting each other while people are going hungry. Their assistants and programs that they're on are getting harassed and modified and changed and shifted. We are fighting each other. We're so caught up in what we want now that we forget that people need us. And it's so sad that the people who don't profess to know our God, the people who don't even call on our God, are doing what we should be doing. They're in the streets protesting. They're in the streets calling for change. They're in the streets calling for justice. They're creating programs for what we should be doing. I'm embarrassed. And it isn't it's this country. I'm embarrassed. I am really embarrassed. I don't know where we go from here.